What if the very first thing women notice about a man isn't height, hair, or the number of zeros in his bank account? What if it's something far simpler and far more within your control? I've watched too many good men, especially in their 60s and 70s, quietly dim their own light because they think time has taken the best of them. The truth? Time hasn't taken your best. It's been hiding it in plain sight. Here's the twist. Most of us never hear. Attraction often starts with how your upper body carries you. Your shoulders, chest, arms, and the posture that frames your presence. Not movie star muscles, not gym rat bravado. Just the kind of everyday strength that says, without a word, I'm steady, I'm capable, I still have energy to give. And the best part? This signal is trainable at any age. You might be thinking, that sounds nice, but I've got a stiff shoulder, a creaky knee, and a to-do list that stretches into next week. That's exactly why this matters. A few focused minutes, done consistently, don't just change how you look in a shirt. They change how you move through rooms, how people make space for you, and how you feel about yourself when no one's watching. So, today we're not chasing a six-pack or pretending we're 25. We're reclaiming something better. Presence. The kind that earns attention quietly and keeps it gracefully. In a moment, I'll show you why this upper body signal is so powerful, how it connects to better health and a longer, richer life, and how you can build it safely, with no ego and no complicated gear. First, we'll bust the myths that have been weighing on your confidence for years. Then, we'll decode the simple body language cues your torso sends in every conversation. After that, I'll give you a calm, joint-friendly routine you can finish in the time it takes to brew your morning coffee. We'll weave in real stories from men who started where you are, and we'll end with a checklist you can screenshot and use tonight. Take a breath. Roll your shoulders back. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about letting the strongest version of you step forward. One steady rep, one honest posture reset, one good day at a time. Section 1. Breaking the old myths. For most of our lives, we've been handed the same script about what makes men attractive. It usually goes like this: be tall, have a full head of hair, drive the right car, keep your wallet fat, and maybe, just maybe, you'll turn heads. But here's what I've learned after decades of watching real men live real lives. That script is outdated. It was written by glossy magazines, television shows, and advertising campaigns, not by women themselves. And it's been drilled so deep into us that many older men walk around convinced they've already lost the game before they even step onto the field. I remember talking to a gentleman in his early 70s who sighed and said, "If only I were taller, maybe my wife would still look at me the way she used to." That broke my heart. Because the truth is, height explains almost nothing about attraction. Neither does hair, neither does money. If it did, then why do so many tall, wealthy, or handsome men struggle to keep meaningful relationships alive? The reason is simple. Women, whether consciously or not, are scanning for something deeper, something that speaks of health, energy, and vitality. Something that goes beyond numbers on a paycheck or inches on a ruler. So, if the old checklist of tall, rich, and youthful doesn't carry the weight we were told it does, what does? This is where the story gets interesting, because when researchers stripped away the myths and measured what really mattered, one part of the male body kept showing up again and again. And chances are it's not the body part you've spent years worrying about. In just a moment, we'll uncover that surprising signal. But before we reveal it, I want you to let go of one limiting belief, that age has closed the door on attractiveness. Because as you'll soon see, the very quality that women notice first is one you can build, reshape, and reclaim, whether you're 40, 60, or pushing past 80. Section 2. The surprising signal women notice first. Here's where the story takes its unexpected turn. After stripping away all the noise, money, height, hairlines, and magazine fantasies, Researchers found that women's eyes are consistently drawn to one specific signal. Not abs, not hair, not even a youthful face. It's the upper body, the shoulders, chest, and arms, along with the way they shape your posture. Why this? Because these areas broadcast vitality without saying a word. Strong, upright shoulders tell the world, I'm steady, I'm capable. A firm chest shows energy and discipline. Arms that carry strength, even if they're not bulging with muscle, signal the power to lift, to embrace, to hold your ground in life. And what's fascinating is that this doesn't only apply to younger men chasing attraction. I've seen it countless times in men past 60, even past 70. When a man begins to rebuild his torso, sometimes just through simple posture work and light strength training, the difference is immediate. His presence sharpens. He doesn't need to say a thing. The way he carries himself does the talking. I remember one gentleman in his late 60s. For years, he blamed his thinning hair for why he felt invisible. He tried every shampoo and supplement promising to restore what time had taken. Nothing changed. But when he finally shifted his focus to strengthening his chest and back, starting with wall push-ups and light band rows, something remarkable happened. His posture improved. His shoulders opened. He walked into rooms taller without even realizing it. And suddenly, people treated him differently. Colleagues looked him in the eye again. His wife started complimenting him in ways he hadn't heard in decades. It wasn't the hair, it was the frame. Why women notice this instinctively? Think of it this way. When you walk into a space, no one has time to check your resume, your investment portfolio, or your birth certificate. But in the blink of an eye, your body language speaks volumes. For women, that first glance often falls on the torso, not out of vanity, but out of instinct. Broad shoulders suggest capability. An upright chest signals vitality. Balanced arms and posture hint at health. The female brain, wired through generations of evolution, reads these cues as signs of resilience and reliability. This doesn't mean you need to be a bodybuilder. In fact, most women don't expect or even want that. What they notice is proportion, balance, and confidence in how you carry yourself. A man who stands tall and moves with energy can be far more magnetic than a man who's fit on paper, but slouches through life. So now that we know the surprising truth that it's the upper body, not the wallet or the hairline, that women notice first, the natural question is, why? Why is the torso such a universal magnet, even in a world of grocery stores and smartphones, where brute survival isn't the daily test it once was? To answer that, we need to take a short journey into history and biology. And when you see the deeper reason behind this instinct, you'll understand why it matters at every age and why it's not too late to build it right now.
Section 3. The evolutionary story. Why women prefer strength. To understand why women instinctively notice the upper body first, we have to zoom out, way out into the long story of human survival. Thousands of years ago, life wasn't about choosing the best retirement plan or finding the right supplement for joint health. It was about survival, hunting, protecting, gathering, and keeping the family safe when danger was always one step away. Back then, a man's shoulders weren't just decoration, they were shields. His chest wasn't about filling out a shirt, it was about carrying firewood, defending loved ones, or enduring long treks for food. That survival wiring didn't vanish when grocery stores appeared on every corner. Our brains, shaped over millennia, still read broad shoulders and steady torsos as signals of protection and vitality. For women, even subconsciously, a strong upper body represents safety, energy, and the ability to withstand life's challenges. I've noticed this in everyday situations. At family gatherings, when older men stand with open posture, their grandchildren run to them instinctively. Why? Because the body looks safe, dependable, grounded. On the other hand, when a man hunches forward and collapses into himself, even without meaning to, he can look fragile, and others, without even thinking, treat him more cautiously. It's not about being intimidating, it's about radiating capability. That's the silent story your body tells before you even say hello. One man I coached, a retired teacher in his 70s, used to call himself the skinny guy. He was convinced he'd missed his chance to look strong. But after a few months of light resistance work, band rows, gentle presses, his frame started changing. He didn't become a bodybuilder. He simply began standing taller, his chest fuller, his shoulders broader. He told me, "Doc, I feel like I walk into a room now and people just see me differently." And they did. What changed wasn't just his muscles, it was the evolutionary signal his body began projecting again. When women notice strength, it isn't about wanting a man to wrestle a saber-toothed tiger anymore. It's about something more relevant. The signal that says, I still have energy, I still take care of myself, I still have more to give. This is why even modest improvements, a firmer chest, a more upright posture, a stronger handshake can make such a powerful difference. You're tapping into a biological language that has been shaping human choices for thousands of years. So now we see why women's attention gravitate toward the upper body. It's not vanity, it's ancient biology. But here's the question that really matters. What does this mean for men over 60? Is it too late to build that signal? Or is there a way to reclaim it even after decades of thinking your prime was behind you? That's exactly where we're headed next. Because once you understand that your body can respond to change at any age, the story shifts from too late to why not now?
Section 4. What this means for men over 60. Now some of you might be thinking, all of this makes sense, but I'm past 60. My body isn't what it used to be. Isn't it too late to make a difference? Let me tell you right now, it is absolutely not too late. Your body may have changed with age, but it hasn't stopped responding. Muscle is one of the most forgiving tissues in the human body. Even after decades of neglect, it still answers when you give it the right attention. I once worked with a grandfather of 6 who had never lifted a weight in his life. He started small, just resistance bands and a few minutes of practice in his living room. Within a few months, his posture improved, his waistline slimmed, and his shoulders began to sit higher. The physical change was noticeable, but the bigger shift was in his confidence. He told me with a smile, "I feel like I've turned back the clock." And his wife noticed too. She looked at him with fresh admiration. That's the gift of training after 60. You're not chasing the body you had at 25. You're building a body that supports you now, a body that makes everyday life easier, more enjoyable, and yes, more attractive. Why this matters more with age? Here's the truth. After 60, strength isn't just about looks, it's about independence. It's the ability to carry your groceries without back pain. It's the freedom to get down on the floor with your grandkids and stand back up without a struggle. It's walking into a room with a steady frame instead of looking like life has weighed you down. And here's the secret. The same traits women instinctively notice, the shoulders, chest, arms, and posture, are the exact traits that protect your heart, your metabolism, and your bones. In other words, the things that make you look vital are the same things that help you stay vital. The mindset shift. So, what does this mean for you? It means you can stop chasing the myths of youth and start focusing on what really matters: presence, strength, and confidence. When you understand that, every push-up, every row, every small improvement becomes more than exercise. It becomes an investment, not just in how others see you, but in how you see yourself. So the big picture is clear. Men over 60 are not out of the game. In fact, you're in the perfect position to prove that vitality doesn't have an age limit. But knowing this is only half the story.
The real question is, how do you build and protect this strength safely without risking injury or overcomplicating things? That's where we're headed next. We'll explore how even the simplest, joint-friendly exercises can reshape your upper body, restore your posture, and give you that magnetic presence, all in less time than you think.
Section 5. How to improve your number one asset safely after 60. Now that you know the surprising truth that your upper body is the first silent signal women notice, the next question practically asks itself: how do you strengthen it safely once you're past 60? The good news is that you don't need a bodybuilding routine or endless hours at the gym. What you do need is consistency, joint-friendly exercises, and a mindset that focuses on progress, not perfection. Start small, but start. I've seen men who couldn't manage a single push-up at first, and yet, within weeks of gentle practice, they were surprising themselves. The key is to remove the pressure of all or nothing. Even modified versions count. Wall push-ups. Start by pressing against a wall instead of the floor. This builds chest and shoulder strength without straining wrists or shoulders. Seated band rows. With a light resistance band, you can strengthen your back and instantly improve posture, which makes you look taller and more confident. Overhead press. Light weights or water bottles. Lifts energy back into your shoulders. Keep it light and slow. Think of it as polishing your posture, not punishing your joints. Chair dips. Done carefully, they restore strength to your triceps and arms, helping you lift and carry with ease. Planks or gentle twists. Engaging the core trims the waist and sharpens that V-shaped signal, even with modest effort. The time investment. Here's the part most men underestimate. You only need 15 to 20 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week. That's it. Think of it like making small deposits into your health bank. Over time, those deposits compound, leaving you richer in strength, vitality, and confidence. Imagine finishing a simple routine before breakfast. You haven't just checked off exercise, you've set the tone for the entire day. Beyond muscles, the emotional payoff. It's not only about how your chest or shoulders look, it's about how your body feels when you stand, when you walk, when you enter a room. You'll breathe easier because your posture is open. You'll move more steadily because your frame supports you. You'll project confidence without having to force it. And that emotional lift, that spark of dignity returning, is what fuels long-term consistency. When you start to feel the difference in everyday life, you'll want to keep going. So here's the simple truth. Improving your upper body strength after 60 isn't about ego. It's about reclaiming energy, mobility, and presence in a way that benefits your health, your relationships, and your own sense of pride. Now that we know how to start building it, let's look at something even more powerful: the direct connection between your appearance and your long-term health. Because as you'll see, the same habits that make you look more attractive are the same ones that protect your heart, sharpen your mind, and extend your life. Section 6. The health connection. Why attraction and longevity overlap. One of the most exciting truths about building strength is this: the very same traits that make you look attractive are the ones that keep you alive longer. It's not a coincidence. It's biology rewarding good choices. When you see a man with steady shoulders, an open chest, and a firm waistline, you're not just seeing muscle. You're seeing a body that's functioning well on the inside. A heart pumping more efficiently, bones supported against fracture, metabolism humming to keep blood sugar in check, a brain getting better circulation, lowering the risk of fog and fatigue. I remember one man in his early 70s who'd been struggling with high blood sugar for years. He never thought of himself as the exercise type, but once he began a light strength routine, push-ups on the counter, band pulls, and short carries, something incredible happened. Yes, his arms and chest began to look firmer, but his lab results told an even better story. His insulin sensitivity improved, his blood pressure dropped, and his energy returned. His wife noticed the change in his frame, but what thrilled him most was how alive he felt again. The overlap that changes everything. That's the beauty of this connection. What women perceive as attractive, broad shoulders, upright posture, visible strength, is often the exact same thing protecting your heart, lungs, and longevity. Attraction isn't vanity, it's a side effect of good health practices. And here's the kicker. Every small effort counts. Every push-up, every row, every careful step forward is a signal to your body that you're not done yet. It's an investment in more years of living well, more years of laughing with family, of traveling, of enjoying the little freedoms that strength preserves. The emotional layer. When you realize this overlap, the whole game changes. You stop training just for appearance and start training for dignity, vitality, and pride. Confidence becomes the natural byproduct, and that confidence is magnetic. It changes how others see you and how you see yourself in the mirror. So now you see, building strength is not about vanity. It's about aligning attraction and health into the same powerful path. But the question still remains. How do you put this into practice day to day without overcomplicating it? That's where we go next, the practical steps. I'll walk you through exactly how to strengthen your upper body safely after 60, with simple movements, clear routines, and strategies to keep you consistent.
Section 7. Practical steps. Building upper body presence after 60. So far, we've talked about myths, instincts, and the health overlap. But now, let's bring it down to earth. What can you actually do, starting this week, to rebuild your torso and project strength without wrecking your joints or exhausting yourself? The answer isn't complicated. In fact, simplicity is the secret. At this stage of life, it's less about intensity and more about consistency, building small, repeatable habits that reshape your posture, add steady strength, and give you that magnetic presence. Step 1. Posture first. Before you ever pick up a dumbbell or stretch a resistance band, reset how you carry yourself. Imagine walking into a room with your chest open and shoulders relaxed instead of slouched forward. That one adjustment alone can change how people perceive you. Try this quick reset 3 times a day. Stand tall with feet shoulder-width apart. Take a breath in, then slowly exhale as you draw your ribcage down. Roll your shoulders back just enough to open the chest, not so much that you're straining. Imagine a string gently lifting the crown of your head. It takes 30 seconds, but it rewires the way your body announces itself. Step 2. Gentle strength builders. You don't need heavy weights. Everyday items, water bottles, a sturdy chair, or simple resistance band are more than enough. Wall push-ups, 8 to 10 reps. Great for chest and shoulders. Seated band rows, 10 to 12 reps. Strengthens the back and pulls your posture upright. Overhead press with water bottles, 6 to 8 reps. Builds shoulders safely. Chair dips, 4 to 6 reps. Restores tricep and arm strength. Planks, 15 to 20 seconds. Activates your core for a firmer waistline. Repeat the circuit 2 to 3 times. Total time, 15 minutes. That's shorter than most TV commercial breaks. Step 3. Small but powerful additions. Carry your groceries differently. Instead of hunching forward, hold the bags by your side with shoulders back. It's basically a farmer's carry workout built into your routine. Walk with intent. A daily 10 to 15-minute walk, arms swinging, chest open, strengthens your gait and keeps your torso engaged. Use stairs when possible. Each climb engages your core and legs while reminding your body how to move with power. Step 4. Think of strength like savings. One deposit doesn't make you rich,
but consistent deposits grow into real wealth. Your upper body works the same way. Show up 3 times a week, and in a few months, you'll notice your shirt fits differently, your posture looks taller, and you move with energy that others can't help but notice. One man I worked with used to joke that he was all excuses and no muscles, but he committed to just 15 minutes 3 mornings a week. After 2 months, he said, "The biggest change isn't my arms. It's the way people look at me now. They treat me like I belong in the conversation again." That's the quiet power of these small steps. They don't just build muscle, they rebuild presence. So the practical path is simple. Focus on posture, strengthen the shoulders and chest, trim the waistline, and carry yourself with confidence. But there's one more piece of the puzzle, the emotional payoff. Because what you gain isn't only physical. What really matters is how this new strength makes you feel about yourself, and how it reshapes the way others connect with you. And that's exactly where we're heading next.
Section 8. The emotional payoff. Confidence and dignity restored. Strength training at 60, 70, or beyond is never just about muscles. It's about something far more important, the way it makes you feel about yourself. I've seen men sit across from me, shoulders slumped, voices quiet, saying, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." They weren't mourning the wrinkles in the mirror. They were mourning the loss of presence, the sense that they no longer carried the same weight in a room. But here's what happens when they begin to rebuild their upper body. They stand taller. Their voices sound more certain. Their eyes light up in ways they haven't in years. One man, a retired firefighter in his mid-60s, once told me he felt invisible in his own home. He'd lost that spark of confidence, and it was eating at him. We started simple: resistance bands, light presses, body weight movements. Over time, his shoulders broadened, his chest lifted, and his waist slimmed. But the most powerful change wasn't in the mirror, it was in his demeanor. His wife told him, "You remind me of the man I married." And when he repeated that line back to me, his eyes had a sparkle that no gym scale could measure. That's the true payoff. Strength doesn't just restore muscle, it restores dignity. Why confidence is magnetic. Think about it. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's not walking around flexing or boasting. True confidence is quiet. It's the calm assurance of a man who knows he can carry himself, literally and figuratively. And confidence is magnetic. People lean in when you speak. Friends ask your opinion. Strangers treat you with respect. It's not because you suddenly became taller or richer. It's because your body language tells the world, "I'm still capable. I'm still here." The ripple effect. What's even more inspiring is how this emotional renewal ripples outward. Wives and partners often notice first, rekindling admiration. Children see their father standing proud again, and it strengthens family bonds. Grandchildren watch and think, "That's what strong looks like." And perhaps most importantly, you notice it. You catch yourself in the mirror or in a photo at a family gathering and think, "Yes, that's me. That's who I want to be." So the emotional payoff is powerful. It restores not only your confidence, but also your role as a steady presence in your family and community. But there's still another layer to uncover, because attraction itself shifts depending on whether someone is looking for short-term excitement or long-term partnership. And understanding that distinction can help you see why building strength is just the first step, and why character and steadiness are what truly make you unforgettable.
Section 9. Short-term versus long-term attraction. One of the most fascinating discoveries in attraction research is this:
What draws someone's eye in the short term isn't always the same as what holds their heart in the long term. In short-term scenarios, think of quick first impressions or fleeting encounters, physical cues carry the most weight. Broad shoulders, defined arms, and upright chest, these signals shout vitality and energy in a way the brain registers instantly. It's not vanity, it's biology making a snap judgment. But when the question shifts from who catches my attention tonight to who do I want to spend years with, the rules change. The short-term spark. When women imagine the ideal partner for a brief encounter, studies show they often assign the most points to visible strength. The upper body is like a calling card. It announces health, resilience, and capability. That's why even modest strength improvements can make such a striking difference in the first moments of meeting someone new. A little more firmness in the chest, a little more width in the shoulders, and suddenly you project energy that feels magnetic. But the long-term anchor. But here's the shift. When women consider someone for the long haul, physical presence alone isn't enough. Yes, strength still matters, but now it shares the stage with deeper traits. Emotional steadiness, kindness, loyalty, reliability. Muscle may open the door, but character is what keeps it open. I've seen this play out with many older men I've worked with. Once they regained some strength and confidence, they also found themselves becoming more patient, more attentive, and more grounded in their relationships. The renewed physical vitality gave them the calm presence to invest emotionally too, and that combination was what truly deepened connection. One man in his late 60s told me, "When I finally built some strength again, I stopped feeling insecure. And when I stopped feeling insecure, I stopped overreacting. I could just enjoy time with my wife." That's the beauty of this balance. Strength on the outside, steadiness on the inside. Together, they create the kind of presence that lasts a lifetime. So yes, upper body strength grabs attention, but it's who you become while building that strength, consistent, patient, confident, that cements real attraction over time. And now we arrive at the heart of the story, pulling everything together into one clear truth. Because when you see how attraction, health, and longevity intersect, you realize the secret isn't about being perfect, it's about showing you're still alive, capable, and ready to thrive.
Section 10. The surprising truth summarized. After years of myths about money, height, hairlines, or even the size of your biceps, the research and real-life stories point us in a very different direction. The number one body signal women notice first isn't what most men spend their lives worrying about. It's the upper body. Your shoulders, chest, and arms form the frame that communicates vitality, health, and presence. They shape your posture, they influence your confidence, and they quietly broadcast whether you're still capable of thriving. And here's the key insight. You don't need to look like a young athlete. You don't need a perfect physique. What you need is to project resilience, to show, through your body language and your frame, that you're still engaged with life, still investing in yourself, and still moving forward. What this means in practice. Presence over perfection. Even modest improvements, firmer shoulders, steadier posture, can completely change how others perceive you. Confidence over comparison. You're not competing with men half your age. You're showing up as the strongest, healthiest version of you in this season of life. Health and attraction overlap. The very same habits that make you look more appealing, strength training, posture resets, better nutrition, also extend your years and protect your heart, bones, and brain. I've seen men who once felt invisible walk back into social circles with a renewed glow, not because they won the genetic lottery, but because they rebuilt the frame that tells the world, I'm still here, still strong, still capable. This is the surprising truth. Attraction and longevity walk in hand. The message your torso sends isn't just about appearance, it's about life itself.
So where do you go from here? You've uncovered the myths, you've seen the science, and you've heard the stories. The next step is turning this truth into consistent action. Simple, repeatable habits that transform not just your body, but your confidence, your relationships, and your future. And that's exactly where we'll head next. A clear, bottom-line action plan to reclaim presence, dignity, and strength at any age. So here's the bottom line, gentlemen. The old myths, money, height, hair, fade quickly, but strength, health, and confidence endure. And the number one body signal women notice, the shoulders, chest, arms, and posture that frame your presence, is fully within your control, no matter your age. When you rebuild your upper body, you're not just reshaping how others see you, you're reshaping how you see yourself. You're reclaiming dignity, renewing confidence, and reminding the world, I'm still here, still strong, still capable. What you can do starting today. Reset your posture. 3 times a day, roll your shoulders back, open your chest, and lift your head tall. Move for 15 minutes. A circuit of wall push-ups, band rows, light overhead presses, chair dips, and planks. Do it 3 times a week. Walk daily. Swing your arms, breathe deeply, and let your torso announce your presence. Fuel your frame. Prioritize protein, hydrate well, and rest deeply. Your body repairs itself while you sleep. None of these steps require fancy equipment. What they do require is consistency. And that consistency is what will carry you forward. One man I'll never forget said to me, I didn't start building strength because I wanted women to notice me. I started because I wanted to notice myself again. And the funny thing, once he carried himself with renewed confidence, everyone else noticed too. That's the secret. The habits that make you attractive are the same ones that extend your life. And once you begin, you don't just look stronger, you live stronger. So here's my challenge. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start today, right now, even if it's just 5 wall push-ups or a posture reset in your chair. Small steps, repeated consistently, transform everything. Your shoulders, chest, and arms aren't just muscles, they're messengers. Let them tell the world the truth, that you're still alive, still vital, and still ready for what's next. Gentlemen, the myths are gone and the truth is clear. Your upper body isn't just about muscles, it's about presence, health, and dignity, and it's never too late to rebuild it. So here's my challenge to you. Start today, even if it's just 5 wall push-ups or standing taller for 1 minute. Those small steps, repeated consistently, will transform your strength, your confidence, and the way the world sees you. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video so more men can discover the truth. Share it with a friend, a brother, or anyone who needs the reminder that it's never too late to reclaim vitality. And don't forget to subscribe, because every week I'll be sharing practical, science-backed advice to help men over 60 stay strong, confident, and healthy. Your story isn't finished. The next chapter is waiting for you to write it with strength, presence, and pride.